I'm Mimi Rozek. This is Ellie Mudge.
Hi,
We're
everybody.
with the Learning by Giving Foundation, and we are here to announce the winners of the 2013 Decisions with Impact video contest. Before we get to the fun part, which you guys are all super excited about, I know, I'm going to give you a really super quick overview on the foundation, what we do, and why we are here today. Doris Buffett started the Learning by Giving Foundation 10 years ago at Davidson College in North Carolina, sort of serendipitously. There was a fabulous professor there who was teaching a course on philanthropy and didn't have the funds to be able to offer sort of the practical, hands-on component that would allow the students to actually donate money in the communities to the organizations that they'd been doing so much work on. Well, Doris had funds that she was anxious to put to work in local communities around the country, and she realized that there's probably no better conduit for dispersal of said funds than eager, bright, enthusiastic college students. So a partnership and a foundation were born. At its highest level, I would say the Learning by Giving Foundation is really a vehicle for college and university students to learn while giving money away to nonprofit organizations in their communities. So we are in 30 schools now. Started with Davidson. We're now in just over 30. I think we have students from 4 of them here today. I know we've got Suny Binghamton, Northeastern, of course, Brandeis, and I believe we have some students from the University of Southern Maine as well. We're super excited to announce that we're actually going to be expanding outside of the typical classroom this spring and working with Google's online courseware platform and with Northeastern's own Professor Riccio. We're going to be offering an online course to anyone with a computer. You don't need to be a college or university student. It's going to be offered via a MOOC, a massive online open course, and it's called Giving with Purpose. Professor Riccio will be teaching the course. We have 3 guest speakers already signed up. Doris Buffett will be one, her brother Warren Buffett another, and Cal Ripken Jr. So please go to the website, learningbygivingfoundation.org. You can register there, and hopefully we will see you in class this spring. So back to the video conference. We were lucky enough to sponsor this contest, or video contest, last year in partnership with NS4G. We had a great response, a lot of wonderful videos, and so we were honored to be able to do it again this year. I know most of you, I think, have seen the videos that have been playing throughout the course of the day. Just a very quick recap. We invited all of the different Learning by Giving courses around the country to submit 3-minute videos online. And then the students that are taking the courses were able to vote on which video they thought best demonstrated the lessons and values that you all have been learning in class this semester and in prior years. So the response we had was fabulous. Really excited to announce the winners. Without further ado, this is Ellie Mudge, our online director. She's got the big checks over there. So
yeah.
Let's see the results of your votes.
Nice big checks. Don't take these to the bank. You will not get any money.
We'll send real checks next week, I promise.
So as Mimi said, the response this year to our video contest was fantastic, and we're so excited by all the submissions that were sent into us, and it was so competitive this year, and it was such a close call in terms of the voting and everything that we actually have a tie for our 2nd and 3rd place video winners. So for the 2nd and 3rd place, the first one is Haley House, which was brought to you by Northeastern, and congratulations. The second third, tiebreaker or whatever, was The Girls' Way, and that was brought to us by University of Montana, which is very exciting. And both Haley House and The Girls' Way will receive a check for $2,000, which is great. We just wanted to make sure that everybody received a grant from us. This is really important to us, so we really see the value in this video contest, and we love watching them, and we hope that you guys will all do this again next year, encourage other students to do this again next year. So I know you're all waiting with bated breath right now. You want to know who the winner is. So the first place winner of the Learning by Giving $10,000 grant for the Decisions with Impact video contest is...
We're going to watch the video. Is it ready? Yay!
Suny Binghamton,
The health clinic at Binghamton Franklin and Roosevelt Elementary School. The health clinics at Binghamton's Franklin and Roosevelt Elementary Schools run summer and after-school programs that focus on health education and parent-child relationships. It was these programs that were earmarked for a grant from last year's Learning by Giving class.
The first step we took in class was to identify our individual values. We then defined the overarching values that we shared as a class. The areas we all shared a common interest in were health and education. We also decided that as a class we wanted to focus our philanthropic efforts towards children. We believe that philanthropy directed towards the younger generation would have the greatest impact in breaking the cycle of poverty that we discovered to be prevalent in the Binghamton area.
As a class, we felt that the UHS school clinics, the after-school programs, and the summer programs accomplished all of our philanthropic goals. Program leaders teach children and their parents how to cook nutritious meals, plant a garden, and find fun new ways to play and exercise. More importantly, at the same time that families learn the basics of a healthy lifestyle, positive relationships are being formed.
We're primarily play therapists, so we believe that bonding and communication happens in families with playing, sharing food.
When they feel like they can come and they can share, then that extends outward. You know what I mean? And that's going to help them if they have problems. They're going to come to the school. They're going to ask for help.
So the city of Binghamton is an area where 37.6% of the population live with obesity, and almost 1/3 of the whole population is living below the poverty line.
My opinion about why it's difficult for people to connect with their children, honestly, it's systemic poverty. It's hard to get down on the floor and play and have fun and belly laugh and enjoy a meal when you're worried that nice bag is going to come shut your belly off if you don't have a decent bed.
The third step we took as a class was to conduct interviews and site visits to assess the program's needs. After learning more about UHS, it was clear that any money we gave them would have tremendous impact.
If we were to buy stuff like for the garden and hiking, all those extra things, like we've never even had all that until Binghamton University gave us funding. Like we were literally like...
We were using our own money.
We were using our own money.
You know,
yeah,
and our own supplies from home.
Using a $4,000 grant from Binghamton's Learning by Giving class, UHS bought kitchen supplies for the nutrition program, purchased therapy and play equipment for use throughout the year, and expanded their garden, altogether tripling the program's size. With the notable impact last year's grant had, we are confident that UHS school programs can expand even further, given the lack of similar programs in other schools.
So one of the things I think we would like to do with the money is try to be able to expand it to the other schools in the district if there's an interest.
Teachers, there are a lot of teachers and other staff that would be extremely interested in coming in and doing this, except for there's no funding in the district for them to be paid to do it.
Progress. I mean, a little bit of progress that you see just totally makes the whole job worthwhile.
Suny Binghamton, we're so happy for you guys. This is a great cause, and we're really excited to provide you guys with our $10,000 grant. But as we mentioned earlier, this was very competitive, and we see so much value in this contest. And you know, not only is it a great way for you guys to learn about philanthropy, but it's also just a great way to give to your local community. And so we've decided that for the 4th and 5th place videos, that we're going to give $500 grants to those as well, so that everybody does receive a grant from Learning by Giving. So the 4th place was the Brookview House, brought to us by Northeastern, and the 5th place was the CGC grant, which was University of Southern Maine. So if we have everybody from Suny Binghamton, Northeastern, from Haley House, and I don't think we have anybody here from University of Montana. But
I will gratefully accept that.
If you could come up and collect your check and take some pictures, that would be great. And then we'll, as I said, please don't take these checks to the bank because you're not going to have any luck.
Come on up.
Come on up, yeah, please. Everybody come up. Yeah, why don't you come down to me? Congratulations. This is all right. Okay, great. Thanks for participating. You guys. Here, maybe you want to hold the girls. Come on over here.
Just hold it up, quarter vertical.
So, how unfun for me that I have to follow the fun people. You know, that was great. I'm Geoff Poulos, the Executive Director of Associated Grantmakers. I know it's been a long day, so I'm going to be really brief. First, I want to say how wonderful today's program has been. We at Associated Grantmakers are honored to be part of this program, and thank you at Northeastern for the invitation to partner with you and Learn by Giving. I don't know how many people were here this morning and heard Rebecca say, take a moment to talk to a young person today. Well, thank you to those of you that did come up to me. I appreciate that. The intersection of social and intellectual capital in this room is astounding. I can't help but be heartened by the possibilities of what we are looking forward to forming out of today's conference. Bringing together nonprofit and foundation leaders, policymakers, people from business and academic communities together, experienced professionals, and aspiring future leaders. A call to action. I was the one that had no microphone earlier today, or had a squealing microphone earlier today in the back, and asked what the call to action is. I hope you all heard there is a call to action and that we all have a responsibility. Harness this coming together across sectors and disciplines to build upon our potential. Leverage our relationships. I've heard that phrase, leverage relationships, so many times today, and it is critical to enact policy and systems change. Imagine how much we could accomplish if we applied all of our knowledge together. Again, a special word of thanks to Northeastern University for being so welcoming to this kind of program and practice, and for inspiring all of us to work with all of you as we move forward. So I will not dwell at the microphone and pass it on to our final speaker for the day, but just to say thank you so much for letting us be part of this.
I'm Diane Macgillivray. I'm the Senior Vice President for Advancement at Northeastern University, and I'm the only thing standing between you and the Haley House treats. I also will be brief, but I have to say it is my great, great honor and privilege to be able to close out today, to be able to thank all of you for being here on behalf of Northeastern University. I want to especially thank Rebecca Riccio, Laurie Gardner, and all the people involved in this conference who work so hard day in and day out, not just to pull together a day like today, but to be present for our students, our faculty, our administrators each and every day as we think about the future of this important area. I also want to thank the Associated Grantmakers, the Learning by Giving Foundation, and the Arthur K. Watson Charitable Trust, who have come together over the last several years to make this just an incredibly fantastic event. I know it's been a day that's been filled with new ideas and new connections, and I have to say that it just gives me so much pride that this is an event that takes place at Northeastern University. And I'm proud not just because Northeastern is a convener of all of this great talent, all of this great energy, but because as a university dedicated to experience, I think it's just critical that we at Northeastern play a leadership role in promoting experiential philanthropy education. And that's a term that Rebecca has taught me recently, and I think it's so apt and one that we need to put into practice, whether we're students or administrators or faculty or in whatever role we play in this realm. The title of this series is Social Impact. Today's theme, Moving the Needle. I've been thinking about that word impact because it's one I think that we throw around a lot. I know I use it a lot. It seems like a pretty good word to use. It means a lot of different things. It can mean collision, impact. It can mean just an effect. Sounds like a maybe nicer word for effect. But as I looked at it more closely today, as I looked it up to think, what does really the term impact mean, and what does it mean in this context, social impact? I think it's a very good term because it suggests force, and it suggests energy, and it suggests passion. And that's what I see in this room today. Your organizations have impact, your programs have impact, you have impact. And I have to say, I actually got a little bit choked up as I was watching the check presentation just now, seeing these young people who have such enormous impact already. What you're going to be able to accomplish is incredible to imagine. I recently read a survey about this next generation of donors and grant makers and nonprofit leaders, your generation, and now I'm really speaking to the students who are still with us now. The good news is that the survey results indicate that your generation is deeply committed to philanthropy, but you want to do it a little bit differently. You're driven by strategy rather than tradition. You're more interested in impact than recognition. You want to use all the tools that are at your disposal, and that means you are inherently innovative. One respondent to the survey noted that there are so many ways to be philanthropic now that didn't exist 20 years ago. You think about crowdfunding and microloans and collaborative giving circles. This is a generation that's simply not afraid to blur the boundaries and to take risks. And with all the challenges facing us, and we read about them every day, and I know I have a lot of angst when I get up and read the newspaper or see the latest threat to the charitable deduction or something that impacts us in our daily lives. But I can't help but be tremendously optimistic and excited when I come to an event like this. I know that those of you who are here today will go out and revolutionize tomorrow. As a professional in the world of philanthropy, I thank you. I thank you for the ways you keep us fresh and you challenge us and you make us better and you make our society better, our communities better, you make our world better. I think that's not an exaggeration. So thank you for being part of the 2013 Moving the Needle Social Impact Conference. Thank you for being at Northeastern. I can't wait to see you again next year.